Guys, I got a really amazing hatchling success story to tell you about. I'll tell you all about the trouble that I went through, the worries, the concerns, what worked, what didn't, and spoiler alert, she ate on her own. Hey everybody, it's Adam at Proper Royals. I hope that you're doing well today. Thank you for joining me. This channel is all about my family's journey from ball python hobbyist to ball python business. You can check out all our socials below and everything that we got going on down there. Today is about a challenge that I had with a very specific hatchling, but I know it's not unique to just me. I'm probably making a mountain out of a molehill here. I'm sure some of you seasoned breeders are going, yeah, that happens all the time. But to newer breeders like myself, it was a really stressful time. And to those of y'all that haven't bred before or are just sort of learning about the hobby, like you put a lot of work into these snakes and these hatchlings. You want it to go well. So I'm going to tell you today all about the story of this little girl here. Let me let you get a good look at her. There you go. I got the focus. She is a pastel het clown. That's it. Nothing crazy. She was a real challenge, and the short version is that she would not eat on her own ever. I never got her to eat on her own. I tried a lot of different things, and really was sort of resigned to the fact that, you know, I was going to do everything I could for her, but there might come a day that she just didn't make it. I made the decision that I was not willing to euthanize or cull her whatsoever, but it was sort of a mission of my own to remind myself that these are animals, they're important. My actions brought this little girl into the world. I'm going to care for her. It was this huge momentous thing when she ended up eating by herself just the other day. So I'm really happy. I'm really fulfilled. It was an incredible journey that I didn't realize I was on. It kind of sucked along the way at times. Anyhow, I want to take you through that today. That was a short version. I'll take you through the long version. She was born on September 13th. Google, how many days has it been since September 13th?
119 days.
So she's 119 days old. Today is Monday, and she ate on Saturday. So 117 days this girl did not eat on her own. She was very small out of the egg. Even today, she's only at like 68 grams, I believe. Very small when she came out of the egg. She went 4 or 5 weeks, didn't eat on her own. So at that point, given how small she was already from the egg, so 68 grams, I had hatchlings that came out of the egg larger than 68 grams, and that's how big she is 117 days in. But, you know, I tried a variety of different rodents. I tried live hoppers. I tried live pinky mice. I tried live pinky rats. I tried fuzzy live rats. I tried frozen thawed pinky rats, and none of those worked, and eventually I did assist feed her. When it comes to assist feeding, guys, I think it's something that's pretty common in the hobby. We don't talk a whole lot about it because it can be perceived as a real forceful, intrusive thing, and it is intrusive, but it doesn't have to be forceful. Assist feeding can range from literally getting their mouth open and just getting, if this is their mouth and this is the rodent, just getting the rodent just inside their front lips, to all the way to opening up their jaw and putting the rodent sort of into that gullet part of their mouth. And obviously the more and more you go in, the more intrusive it is. But remember, if you're doing it, you're doing that to save the life of the animal. And I'll tell you, it's not typically necessary. I did have 3 this year that needed it. I did that. I changed her bedding. I changed the location from the top of not all at the same time. You know, I put in cocoa from newspaper to paper towel. I tried her at the top of the hatchling rack. I tried her at the bottom of the hatchling rack. I tried her in a blacked out tub and a clear tub, and she would never take. And so along the way, I kind of landed on the idea of, well, if I've got to assist feed her, I may as well get her used to what I want to be feeding her, which is frozen thawed rats. Of my 27 snakes, 23 eat frozen thawed, no problem. They're all set. Of the 4 that don't, 3 of them are hatchlings, so I just haven't transferred them over. And I got one tough girl that she's a juvenile. I still have hope that I'll get her moved over and to frozen thawed. Just logistically and my resources, it works better for me, and sort of my own personal choices too. It works better for me to feed on frozen thawed. So I thought, let me just assist feed frozen thawed to her, and so at least that when and if she does eat on her own, she'll be used to eating those. And that went okay. We every couple weeks I didn't assist feed more than once every 2 weeks, because you can, I hope it's not damaged. In my mind I tell myself it'd be like a sore throat for her, but it's got to be uncomfortable is what I'm saying. So I want to keep her calm as best I can. So it was every couple of weeks I was assist feeding a frozen thawed pinky that I had heated up. And of course I would always give her the opportunity to eat it herself. I would give her 4 hours from my food and beverage background, 4 hours unrefrigerated for raw meat. It's kind of the time frame when bacterial and bad stuff starts happening. So after 4 hours I would assist feed her if she hadn't eaten it already, which was always, so I just kept wrestling with that stuff. And again, I'd resigned myself to, I'm going to care for this snake. Again, you got to remember it's a live animal. It's on this earth because of our actions, my actions. So she was going to be my pet and my project, and I was going to make her work, and she did work. This past week, my frozen thawed shipment supplies were a little bit off, and I had to go to the pet shop for some other live feeders for those other 4. And right after Christmas, everybody's got new animals, everybody's buying. Their supply was real short. And this is a reptile specialty shop. This is not a big box store. They're great. They're called, as a matter of fact, they're called Extreme Exotics here in Jacksonville. They're fantastic. Check them out if you're ever in town. Barczyk did a phenomenal video of their facility, named them like the best reptile farm in the ranch in the United States or something like that. Really great. Check them out. So I went, and they didn't have any rats. And one of my core rules is when an animal has had a rat, it never goes back to having a mouse. I've had mousers before. I don't want mousers. Even though I'm willing to travel to the pet store, it's a long, long way. I want my animals on frozen thawed rats. But I'd already skipped a feeding the last time because they were out of feeders. The last time I went right after Christmas. So I was like, you know what? Give me a couple mice, because I have one other one that I was having some feeding issues with as well. The mice hoppers, I'll just deal with it. If I'm assist feeding her anyhow, at that point, it doesn't really matter what I'm feeding her. So I was going to do the usual, leave it for 4 hours, and I would have euthanized the rat or the mouse and done the assist feeding with the fresh mouse. And excuse me, since it was live and it wasn't the 4 hours, I left it overnight. And the next morning, that mouse was gone, and there was a nice big bulge in her. My lesson is going back to the basics. You always hear that mouse hoppers work. When all else fails, mouse hoppers work. Why she was slow to start, I don't know. Did she need all of those assist feedings? I think she needed a few, or the first, but I don't know if she needed all of them. I can't say with certainty. My other snake that was giving me some feeding issues destroyed those mouse hoppers. She ate 3 of them that day. Now, she's a bit bigger and has eaten before. She just stopped eating, and I don't know why. So I'm back to square one with her on mouse hoppers, but she is eating. This little girl is named Faith. That was suggested to me by, I gotta look it up. I'm gonna put their name on the screen, and I regret that I can't recall it off the top of my head. Faith is what her name was, and they called it. They said maybe she'll grow up and do great. She's going to eat before you know it. So I am really, really fulfilled with her, and if I can ever help you with feeding hatchlings or guiding you through it, at least with sharing my experience, I'm happy to. Let me know how I can help. Hey, if you're still watching to this point, I just got a new camera lens, and I know you don't come here for camera lens, but I'd love to see what you hear your input of this camera versus my usual footage. You probably noticed I got a lot of B-reel today of Faith, and I dropped lots of different pictures of lots of different settings with her in the video, more than I normally would have. And it's because I'm checking out this new lens, and I don't know squat about cameras other than I have a Canon M50 Mark II, and I'm using a 22 millimeter f2 lens, and I'm really enjoying it. Good depth of focus, no frills, no adjustment, zoom, no nothing, fixed lens. So tell me what you think. I know it's a Ball Python channel, so let's get back to that. Feel free to follow, like, subscribe, all that. Check out these videos to keep up with everything that we do. If you click on those, you're gonna help me feed more hatchlings in the future. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for being here. Until next time, see ya.